Democrat senator tells Fox News he's not vouching for the man in a Abrego Garcia case and will support a court deporting him. Now, this is a huge turnaround from a guy who nearly called him an American and stopped himself and then called him a resident. And with the media screaming to the high heavens, Maryland father, for a Democrat senator who was leading the charge to come out and be like, I'm not vouching for the guy and I'm okay with him being deported now. Wow. Talk about a heavy 180.
I gotta say, the left-wing media and these Democrat politicians are playing themselves like a busted violin. First they come out backing an MS-13 gang member like he's some misunderstood choir boy. And now they're scrambling, doing a full 180 like we didn't all see it. Let's get into it.
The issue for Democratic Senator Van Hollen is simply the issue of due process, not the MS-13 gang member accused of mercilessly beating his wife on more than one occasion. I think it's fair to say that they walked face first into this one. And here's the best part. 4 more Democrats are going down there.
If logic was on the menu, the left just ordered the kids' meal. Hold the brain cells.
This is not, I don't know what they're thinking with this. You know, we are going to be having a debate in the culture war going over all the legal documents, which I believe shows he's gotten his due process. But the American people, like, of all of the things Trump has done, immigration is his most popular issue. Why are they setting themselves up like this?
To make me laugh because I needed a good chuckle.
The Democrats are sitting back and they're like, "What can we do that'll make Phil laugh today?"
Absolutely. I mean, it's hilarious. They're falling over themselves, siding with the worst people that are here. That are their whole story is irredeemable. Like, he's here illegally. He's probably a member, or he's alleged to be a member of a gang, but it's been multiple courts that have said it, I believe. And I don't remember what the other person or the other organization that made allegations that he's in a gang, but they're reputable organizations. There's his ex-girlfriend has filed charges or at least made claims of abuse.
His ex-girlfriend did?
I don't remember if it was
his wife.
Oh, it's his wife. Okay, my bad. All right, so fair enough. But this only goes to my point. He is totally
You're
not sympathetic
the
at all.
Democrats' favorite voter.
Right. Wait, Shane. Do you want to read the first sentence of that paragraph right
Let me
there?
get my old man glasses on.
Old man glasses. Just starting with
here?
at. Yeah.
At a master calendar hearing, the respondent, through counsel, admitted the factual allegations contained in the NTA and conceded removability as charged. Should I keep going?
Based on the respondent's admissions and concessions, the court found his removability to be established by clear and convincing evidence as required by INA 240C3. So this is the document from 2019, August 9th and September 27th, where they again confirmed he was to be removed. However, not to El Salvador, because a gang in Guatemala was threatening to kill him. This is the story. A Guatemalan gang was threatening his family, and they didn't feel that they could be protected in El Salvador. Now, the only question that needs to be asked based on this is, can he be deported somewhere else? The answer is yes, of course. And so then the error that the Trump administration made, they were supposed to have a USCIS interview with Abrego Garcia before sending him home. And they didn't. But under the Alien Enemies Act, he was allowed to do it. So, I feel like this horse, I would argue that we've beaten the dead horse on this story, but Democrats won't shut up about it. So let me just say we've ground the horse into glue at this point, because I don't know how many times we need to point out that this guy was found deportable, credibly an MS-13 gang member, now accused of beating his wife. And I guess I'll put it this way. We could have opened this show with the Hegseth Signalgate story.
Oh, we'll get to that?
Yeah, but it's a fake story.
It's not.
The second Signalgate?
No.
It's a fake story.
The story about how the Department of Defense is a total mess. I mean, his former spokesperson is saying, on the record that, what exactly did he say? Month from hell inside of the Department of Defense? That's concerning. And this is a guy who worked for Trump in 2016, too. This is not just some lefty spokesperson that he inherited from the civil service. This is a true MAGA believer who was oh, come on.
Who else worked for Trump in 2016?
And there are a number of other people have come out.
In his 2016 term, it's 2017.
Why would he have hired him to be his chief Pentagon spokesperson and lead the communications at the NSA if he didn't believe that this guy was legit?
Why were there 3 people leaking information to the press?
So this woke feminist thought she could outlogic Tim Pool by yelling about this month inside the Department of Defense. It's like Satan got a desk job and started delegating. Total disaster.
In the article that the was he a chief of staff or?
He was the chief Pentagon spokesperson until 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, he wrote an op-ed in Politico where he actually denied those the 3 advisors that they ever leaked anything. So I want to add allegedly here because I do feel like lawsuits are coming. All of these guys were
Good
trying
point.
to.
Allegedly.
All of this is
Stand
very
corrected.
much allegedly. And all this is also allegedly because they allegedly leaked documents about attacking Iran to try to preempt and try to prevent the strike by leaking it out there early. And that could be a part of the problem at the Pentagon. But it is unusual for this guy to be resigning or probably fired and told to resign and then have this happen. I don't think we'll see any shakeups there, though.
Well, what are your thoughts on the Abrego Garcia story then?
On this story, I mean, it is a hard one because I do think that
Why?
politically, I think it's politically, you're right that the immigration story is on Trump's side. I mean, he was elected to seal off the border, deportations. I think the due process is the part that the Democrats are arguing about.
This warning didn't come from some liberal clickbait mill. It came from someone who used to work for Trump. So, that actually means something? Give me a break. The left is freaking out over Pete Hegseth because he might be a chief of staff. These clowns act like the man was flipping burgers before Fox News. Meanwhile, they worship career bureaucrats who couldn't lead a troop of Girl Scouts across the street.
Like, they want to make sure that there is due process, and obviously the halting. This is the guy who was the hairdresser, right? The makeup artist?
No.
Okay.
This is the wife beating MS-13 gang member.
Got it. All right, then I'm not fully up to date on this one. I was.
The hairdresser's a fake story too.
Why is that one fake?
Because they're not asylum seekers. You don't travel from Venezuela through the entirety of Central America, come to the United States and say, now I need asylum. You go to Mexico. You go to any other country. It's typically expected of any asylum seeker to go to the first safe country they get to. So for Venezuela,
that was supposed to be remain in Mexico under Trump.
right. So this guy, he's like, Venezuela is dangerous for me. I better travel through all these other countries.
I have no doubt that he tried to get into the U.S. illegally and live here
he did.
illegally. Of
Indeed.
course. Yeah.
And then when he went through, it's an executive hearing. We call them judges. They said his tattoos are MS-13, and he got deported to El Salvador.
To that horrible
for MS-13 gang members.
Yeah, and they confirmed that he is an MS-13 member.
So he was found to be an MS-13 gang member in the standard procedure by his crown tattoos on his wrists.
Yeah,
which the left is arguing are just crowns and they're not MS-13. And so I would just
they want him to have due process, essentially, right?
What is the due process of an illegal immigrant?
I mean, I think that they have the right to immigration court, right?
And they did.
And he lost.
Yes, he is deportable and he had crowns.
He lost during the Biden years, right? Is that right?
I'm not entirely sure.
Okay, well, I think that'd be interesting to find out because I mean, you might say, "Oh, the Trump's administration has different criteria."
It's
Listen, I can't really debate this one in the same way because I thought it was the Maryland hairdresser that we were talking about, or makeup artist.
He wasn't in Maryland, was he?
Oh,
it was California.
Oh, the makeup artist was in California.
I don't know.
But the point is, you're right.
There's so many illegals that have come over since Joe Biden took office and stuff. So there's probably a Maryland hairdresser that's here illegally. So you're probably close to
Maryland.
I think I'm conflating it.
Yeah,
I'm conflating it because yes, some Democrats are doing this, and I do question. I mean, I think there's just a fear that it's happening so quickly and so recklessly, and that people are not getting their due process in the process of it. Especially when they're saying we are going to deport homegrown.
They are getting their due process.
Do you
Each
think
and every one of them.
Then why would the judge halt the guy that was being deported to Venezuela?
So yeah, right. So
why you roll your eyes?
Okay, so here's a question for you.
He's
Why
still a judge.
Why has Trump?
Even if he's an activist judge, if you want to say that, he's still a judge.
But Phil gave you a reason. It's that they're political activists who are trying to obstruct Trump. That's your answer. Why has Trump received 40% of all universal? Let me phrase unconstitutional universal injunctions.
I mean, I think that
81 out of like 200.
He was definitely pushing the boundaries of the Constitution. He tried to get rid of what was it? The
birthright citizenship.
Yeah, he tried to get rid of that. He's definitely
he didn't try. He is actively doing so now, and it's going to court.
But the point and the point of
Supreme Court.
Except birthright citizenship is falsely interpreted and does not exist.
He is pushing the limits of the Constitution every single day.
In what way?
I mean, with that alone.
But the Constitution says,
And also by defying
explicitly-
a judge's order, whether you don't agree or not, like you should have halted that plane and put the person down and then gone through the
Supreme
process.
Court sided with him on that
And the
regard.
appeal,
The Supreme Court sided with him.
they allowed him to be deported.
The Supreme Court said no one can direct the executive branch to engage in foreign policy. And so the issue was should Abrego Garcia be returnable? They should facilitate his return. And the argument from the conservatives is, or from Trump, that if he were to try to come back to the U.S., Trump must facilitate that return.
I can't take this feminist. She's clueless. Slap that like button and subscribe to the channel.